Hey guys, my name is Lembit, and today we're going to continue with dry networks in Civil 3D. So in my last video we had a quick overview on the elements and the tools that we're going to use in this example. And yeah, as you can see already, I have made some corridors with the cables. And just to save your time, my time, I'll simply walk you through on how I made these things, and yeah, hopefully you're gonna learn something from it. Yeah, let's get started. As you can see, I have a cable 1 right here, the alignment, and its name is cable 1. And for the cable 1 alignment, I have made the profile right here on the right. So usually for the dry networks, you don't need a profile because, it doesn't really matter. Usually you create profiles for roadways, for pipe network, but if you want to export the cables, all the dry networks to the EFC, for example, then the cable has to have some heights in the model space, right? So you need to have the profiles for the cables. So keep that in mind. And in this example, you can see I have 3 different profiles for that. So the green one right here on top of that is the existing ground, which is this area right here. The red one, for the sake of this example, is the cable height. So I'll just show you in a minute why I have this like peaks, right? And the blue line right here is the trench. So these things are all separate. And if you're gonna take a look at the corridor, let me add the model viewer, you can see that the blue one, the blue line right here is the trench, which is going right here. And the red profile with the peaks to the existing ground is the cable profile. So the peaks are the spots where the light pole is. So it's basically going up to the light pole and going back to the underground. And you can see that the trench itself is much lower than the poles, right? So with my custom sub assemblies, for example, I can change the targets for the corridor. For example, the surface target right here has the cut slope to existing ground. So if I give it target the existing ground, then the trench, as you can see, is moving to the existing ground. And in this cross section on the right, I'm just moving the cross section of the corridor, and on the right you can see that doesn't really matter in which spot we are. The cut slope is always finding the existing ground and it creates the trench. And if, for the sake of the video, for example, I will change the cut slope of the trench. Let me make something like that. I will rebuild the corridor, and you can see the trench now much thinner. So yeah, this is one of the examples. The other example that I wanted to show you is, for example, let's leave the trench out, just the cables. So I have one assembly, but I have multiple sub-assemblies connected to it. So as I mentioned in my previous video, for example, it's nice to have an offset parameter for the sub-assembly. So for example, this is the main cable in this pack, and every next cable has the offset of 0.1 meters, right? 0.1, 0.2 from the center, 0.3, and I'm able to make some like a pack of cables. And when I create the corridor with them, well, it looks something like that, right? Looks nice. For example, if we need to add trench in this example, I have trench, but the width to the right is you can see 0.7, right, meters. And this is one parameter that you can change as well with my subassembly. But in this case, I use 0.7, and when I rebuild the corridor, you can see that we have trench as well. We are not going to have it to the existing ground, because as you can see right here, we don't have a target, but we can actually add to the main cable the existing ground as well. And as you can see, it finds the existing ground and it creates the trench to the existing ground. This is the other example. As you can see, like the existing ground changes, some things are changed, and it tries to find the cut slope to the existing ground. It will give errors, for example, if you don't have the surface in specific areas, but well, right now it works. So yeah, the other example that I want to show you would be for example, the power lines. Let me add a power line to the model viewer. I will add the existing ground as well. So you can see I could add the last example to the existing ground as well. As you can see, it's underground, right? And it constantly trying to find a cut slope to existing ground. And I could add these elements right here as well. And yeah, right here we have the TriNetworks utilities. But yeah, let's get back to the power lines. So the power lines, right? For the power lines, I have an alignment as well, which has the name of cable 2, and I have a profile for it as well. For instance, I want to have it on a specific height. I create a profile for that height. I have some PVI points. In these points, for example, in this case, I have some poles added. Just give me a second. The model viewer right here. So in Civil 3D you can make something like that with the power lines as well. Looks nice. You can export it as an EFC. You can add data to it. So for me it's working. Hopefully it works for you as well. So yeah, nothing special. Same technique, alignment. You get a profile for that. You create a corridor with that profile, and that's it. You have something like that. So yeah, let's check out the blocks now. So the blocks are just your usual blocks, right? Nothing special about them. Just a block with a base point. And if you just take a look at the model viewer, it's just a block, right? So the point is that, for example, if you have a lot of blocks, for example, with the light pole. So if I use insert, for example, just 1 second, current drawing, just a list of different blocks. For example, this block right here. I could just make multiple of these things, right? Just for example, I'll just spam like that. And this one right here, as you can see, doesn't have any height. So if we take a look at the model viewer, right, and we add the existing ground, they are just somewhere below the ground. So nice thing with the blocks is that when you have a lot of them in the drawing, you can simply just, select the surface that you're working with, and it has a nice command called move to surface, and it has move blocks to surface. So you can actually just choose all the blocks in your drawing, just shift click OK, And now all the elements that are in the drawing, right, are now connected with now the base point of that block is connected with the surface target that you choose, right? And when you have a lot of different elements such as light poles and I don't know, the puller, for example, or the doesn't matter, just an element, just a block element, then you just can move all these blocks to the surface, and these just work as an element inside the model space that you can later on export as an EFC as well. So keep that in mind. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions about that, just feel free to ask in the comment section. I will reply. Thank you for watching. See you next time.